Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 22nd of October. And the brighter picture which we were hoping for has happened given the RSI 50 rebound that we had a couple of sessions ago. And we managed to break all the near-term resistance, the last bit around the 94.70 area. Above that, looking for the top of the channel there as high as 96.70 by the end of next month. Ideally, now we stay on the right side of the 9,300 level, especially given that that's where the 50-day moving average is. And if we're really lucky, we stay above the support on the way down around 93.90. Moving along to the DAX, and here, not quite as shiny as the FTSE, but we are above the 50-day line there. That's around 24,000 and obviously above the floor of the channel. The longer we stay above the 50-day line, the greater the chance of move up to 26,000, the top of that rising trend channel from April by the end of next month. Any rug pull, hopefully no lower than the 23,600 level, the floor of that channel from back in the spring. The Dow is next, and here we had our breakout through the late September resistance line there at 46,200, and that's followed through quite well. So we're near the record highs, or at the record highs. Top of the channel there from from May last year, 48,200. That's what we're looking for by the end of next month at the latest, while we remain above 46,200. The 50-day line there, 45,800. The worst we're expecting on any rug pull. Cryptos are next, and here you can see that we've got Bitcoin looking a little forlorn at the moment. We had a rather obvious failure at the 50-day moving average of 114, and now we're back near the 200-day line at 108. Ideally, we stay above that 200-day line, but we've now had two RSI failures below the neutral 50 level, so there is a risk of a test of the floor of the channel there, 104, and a worst case rug pull down to the mid-June support there around 98,000, but hoping that we'll stay within that channel, given that we've already done that so far for this market. Ethereum is next on the list, and here we've got an uptrend line there from back in April. We've failed below the 50-day moving average there at 42.69. The risk is of a test of that April support line there at 37.90 now, before we head higher. And the worst case scenario, I suppose, is the August support, 33.50 or so, which is just above the rising 200-day line, 32.19. But the longer we stay below RSI 50, as we are at the moment, RSI 41, greater the chance of a bit of a retest of support from earlier or back in the height of the summer. Gold is next, and people squeaking a bit and squealing with the fall that we had yesterday. Kind of where we were, we were obviously factoring in, we always factor in a rug pull. The old initial support resistance for October earlier this month was around 40.60, and we'd already factored in that we could get a rug pull to that area. The low yesterday, 40.80, so it kind of ties in. But ideally, we'll stay on the right side of 4,000. Ideally, 40.60 will come in as support, and then we've got another chance of heading up to 4,500 by the end of next month as a best case scenario target. Moving along to the stocks, and Contango stock, which I was heckled on X in terms of suggesting that 0.8 could be the low for the shares. In fact, they did actually go, to be fair, a bit low, but we had looks like we've had a clearance of the slack there, and back above 0.8. The longer we stay above 0.8, which is basically the May to August support with the shares, the greater the chance of move to 1.3 pence by the end of next month. Uptrend in the RSI window as well, helping the cause, but if you're cautious, maybe you wait for an end of day close through the 50-day line there at 0.87 before assuming we're on our way to 1.3 pence. Moving along to Empire Metals, which is fascinating at the moment because it's a very, very rocky ride indeed. What has been useful here over the last 24, 48 hours is the way that we found support at the old resistance area around 30 pence. Above that, we're looking for a break of the 50-day line and the 50 pence level, as well as that resistance line there from September. So everything on 50 pence there. If we can get through 50 pence, then we could be back towards the highs. Otherwise, we would fear there could be another test of the 30 pence area. While we're below RSI 50, which we are at the moment at RSI 46, still a risk of the 30 pence zone. Onto a stock which I don't normally look at, but because we've got so few contenders today, which is slightly ominous, we're on to Frontier Developments. And here we've got a rising trend channel that's been in place since March this year. Top of the channel, they're heading for £5.40, which we're looking for as soon as the end of next month, while we remain above recent broken resistance around £4.50. Great news for Greenroc today on funding news from Denmark. And here you can see we've got a rising trend channel. We gapped off the floor of the channel around the 2.4 pence level. And while we're above that, looking for up to 4.5 pence by the end of next month. It's been a while since Georgina's been on the list of risers, but we've got a decent move today. And that is quite encouraging given how much defamation and other stuff the company's had to suck up since it came to market. Rising on no news, which is even better. Initial target here, the 200-day line, 6.75 pence. After that, looking for the old July peak there at 8.75 pence. And that would be, the latter number would be the best case scenario for the end of next month, while we stay above the 50-day line, 5.1 pence. Kromek is next, and looks like it might be finally moving. This looks like a mid-move consolidation after an unfilled gap to the upside off the lows. And RSI 50 plus price action or indicator action that we've had so far this month suggests that we're ready for a new move to the upside. Minimum on the upside, 7.85 pence, the top of that channel, but obviously we could spike towards 9 pence by the end of next month, while we remain above recent support at around the 6.25 pence level. Finishing off with Metals One, which is yet to get the glories of the March to May rally, which is still amazing that the shares managed to deliver that. But what's interesting now is that we are trying to bounce off the lows. We're back above the 50-day line there at 4.05 pence, and above that, looking for 5.7 pence as an initial target, which is the top of that basically convergence, converging lines there on the daily chart at the top of that formation, and looking for that by the end of next month, maybe sooner than that. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.